Here we'll have an example where the number of iterations isn't fixed. Let's solve for this one. Create a loop that keeps asking for an integer and only stops when you've entered 5 zeros. So how do we approach this? First, we must have a counter for the number of zeros. We have to keep track of this in case it reaches 5. So for example, num of zeros, let's initialize that to 0, obviously. Then let's also count the number of iterations just to see how many there are already. So let's say we have a loop counter, or just loop count. Let's say 1. And then let's write the loop. So the number of zeros should stop at 5, so we'll write while number of zeros is less than 5. Okay, so inside we'll print the loop number to see how many iterations there are already. Loop count. And then let's get the number from the user. Num is equal to int input, enter an integer, like so. And then we have to check if the number entered is a 0. So we have to put here a conditional statement. If num is equal to 0, we'll increment the number of zeros. So num of zeros plus equal 1. Take note that this line here is equivalent to num of zeros equal to num of zeros plus 1. So they are one and the same. I mean, they do the same thing. But obviously this takes fewer characters to write. So let's remove this. Okay. And of course we have to increment the loop count. Loop count plus equal 1. So it's the same as saying loop count is equal to loop count plus 1. Okay, let's save that and then let's try it out in our terminal. So let's open the terminal and then let's run it. So python loop2.py. So let's just enter some integers here. And as you can see, this loop can iterate indefinitely and it's not fixed. I can keep entering non-zeros here. Let's add a 0 there. And this will keep going until I have entered 5 zeros. So let's enter more zeros. There you go. And as you can see, it iterated 28 times. The point is, not all loops need to be fixed. For example, you could use this idea for solving problems like getting the first n prime integers or something similar. Okay, some questions. Where's the update part of the loop? So here we have the initialization part, the condition, but where's the update part? Obviously it's here, right? Although you could argue that getting the number itself is also part of the update part, and that is a good point. So again, take note of this kind of loop where the number of iterations isn't fixed.